Hey, what is up guys? So we are going to be going over the best synchro monsters that came out in 2013. To qualify for this category, the monster actually had to come out in 2013, not counting a reprint that came out in 2013. So I'm sorry, Dragoon players, Stardust Dragon unfortunately cannot be one of the synchro monsters of your choosing. But let's go ahead and kick it off with the first card. These are not in any particular order except for the final card. But let's go ahead and kick it off with our first guy over here, ARMADES, Keeper of Boundaries. So level 5, generic, really easy to make. And this card is absolutely fantastic against VULCANs because when this card attacks or is attacked, your opponent basically can't drop the Honest, they can't drop the Crane, they can't, activate Dimensional Prison, Mirror Force, they can't do anything. This card, I basically love it because it just shuts down VULCANs, but more so because, Heavy Storm is gone, it's been gone for a while for us in the TCG. So the thing is, sometimes when your opponent has so many back row, or if you know that they're playing a back row heavy deck, maybe you go straight first turn Deep Sea Diva into ARMADES and then they can just lose. There are a lot of decks that just can't do anything to ARMADES because he's just too strong and you can't just respond to it at all. Next up we have our first level 11 synchro that came out that's actually relevant, I think. But anyways, Star Eater, absolutely fantastic card against certain decks. What's awesome with this card is it's a very safe go-to card because if your opponent has a bunch of back row, they can't activate anything until the end of damage step. And more importantly, when it is synchro summoned, the synchro summon cannot be negated, so it basically stops them from getting rid of it at the start. So very difficult card to kind of get rid of. I know Compulse is still a card, but the thing is, the card technically is out one right now. But this card is just really good against certain stall decks, anything like that runs Battle Faders, Swift Scarecrows. This card is just really good because you make it and they just can't respond to it, and therefore you get your attack in, and it's just a fantastic card in that aspect. Plus it's got relatively large attack, and it also is light, so work with Honest if you really have that in your deck. But there's also Brotherhood of the Fire Fist, Horse Prince, that really never got to actually take off. I mean, this card is absolutely fantastic. It's not a generic monster, but it was absolutely ridiculous for the whole Spirit into Rooster combo. Unfortunately, we never really got to see this see much play. I know that they'll bring out maybe one per duel now, but the thing is, before it was like every game you could just spam multiple Horse Princes, with abusing the whole chicken plus Spirit, but it got hit relatively fast, so no one really got a chance to play with the triple Horse Prince at tournaments and was able to do the whole it's basically like a small little field advantage and a hand advantage in the game with the whole Spirit and Horse Prince combo. But next up we have another level 6 monster over here, VULCAN the Divine. Now we don't really have any good level 6 synchro monsters in the game. Now this card did come out as a jump promotional card, but it's still a very good card. Basically it bounces one face-up card. Now if you're playing Fire Fist on the other hand, you get to target one face-up card you control and one face-up card your opponent controls. So something like a 10 key that you can reset, or maybe something like a Fiendish Chain that you can reset. So I really like this card in that aspect that has the idea of not only you bouncing back one of your opponent's face-up cards, but you get to bounce back one of your face-up cards, which can definitely help you. I've seen players at one point, they went ahead and went for a junk synchron, summoning like a max C and then bouncing back the max C to their hand so they would have it for a later turn. And they also special summon like Doppelwarrior so they could still synchro summon. But this card is just really good in that aspect. It just, it's a generic monster and it has a really decent effect. Because at the moment we really don't have any good level 6 synchro monsters. But hopefully this year we'll get some pretty awesome ones. But next up we have Stardust Spark Dragon. This one was a book promotional card. And honestly, I really think this card combos very well with this card, VANITY'S Emptiness. This card plus VANITY'S Emptiness makes it for a fun time for your opponent because there's a lot of times where they just don't have an answer to VANITY'S. And if they have their one answer to VANITY'S and you stop it, at that point it's game over for a lot of meta decks. But pretty good card. I mean, it's a Stardust Dragon card technically, so I guess the Dragoon players might get a little excited over there. But, I'd still say Stardust is kind of like a go-to card for most scenarios, but like I said, I feel like that this card plus VANITY'S Emptiness, protecting VANITY'S Emptiness can be your key in winning a lot of duels, especially into next format. Regardless of what format it is, special summoning is always relevant in the game. And lastly, we have our best synchro monster of 2013. You guys already know, Crimson Bladed. This card it basically stuns your opponent. I mean, if this card successfully gets, its effect off, your opponent really can't do much. Well, there are some certain decks that, just don't care about this. One deck would be like Inzectors. Inzectors would be like, I don't even play level 5 or higher monsters other than, with a Gigamantis, which they equip anyway. So, this card is just absolutely ridiculous in that aspect. It took a while for this card to come out in TCG, and I'm so glad that it was a rare card. Could you guys imagine if this card was a secret rare card? Because, this card would have been pretty expensive as a secret, but thank you, Konami, for releasing this as a rare so all of us have access to it, because I think this should be in pretty much every extract that can potentially make a level 8 monster, because, I mean, you get the effect, you shut down Light Sworn, you shut down, like, the Dragon Rulers, you shut down so many decks just with this card's effect, and it's awesome that it's also generic, and it has relatively large attack. So, we'll have to see what is in 2014 for us for this new Synchro monsters. I can't wait. I've always loved Synchro monsters, but, we need a better level 6. I mean, Vulcan's pretty awesome, but we need another level 6 Konami, please. But anyways, those are my top choices, as well as a few of your guys' choices, because I did ask you guys on my Facebook page which cards you think should have been qualified for the best Synchro monsters of 2014. So if you guys disagree with me, hey, join the conversation sometime on Facebook, and you can maybe get your card named over here. And let me know let me know what you guys thought was the best Synchro monster, because this is obviously biased. I mean, this is just my choice of best monsters, but I'm sure a lot of you guys would agree. I mean, most of you guys commented and had the same opinions I had. But for me, Crimson Blader, hands down, best Synchro monster of 2013. Like I said, let me know what your thoughts are, if you guys felt like there was any monsters I left out, or if you want to just let me know what your favorite Synchro monster of 2013 was. But thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. Asian Eyes out.